In this video, we will tackle about the Unit 1, which is the prenatal, infancy, and toddlerhood. We will cover about the 4 topics: prenatal development, physical development of infants and toddlers, cognitive development of infants and toddlers, socio-emotional development of infants and toddlers. So first is prenatal. Prenatal period, and these are the stages of prenatal development. Human life begins at conception. Conception, the union of a male sperm cell and a female egg cell to form a new organism. Stages of prenatal development is divided into three periods. First is the germinal period, embryonic period, and lastly is the fetal period. In germinal period happens 2 weeks after conception, or 24 to 30 hours, or let's just say 11 to 15 days. As you can see, embryonic period happens 2 to 8 weeks after conception. 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And the third one is fetal period. This happens 2 to 7 months after conception. This growth and development continue dramatically during this period, or 38 weeks. Physical development of infants and toddlers. Infants, a very young child that cannot neither walk or talk. In an early stage of development, just the beginning. Toddlers, a young child who is learning to walk, and there are 2 stages of physical development of infants. First is the cephalocandal, as you can see, the postnatal growth from conception to 5 months when the head grows more than the body. Second is proximodistal, the prenatal growth from 5 months to birth when the fetus grows from the inside of the body outwards. And here are the body parts development of an infant. First is brain development. Among the most dramatic changes of the brain is the first 2 years of life and the spreading connections of dendrites to each others. Remember, neurons, dendrites, axon, synapses are slowly developing. Second is motor development. Along these aspects of motor development, infants and toddlers begin from reflexes to gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Reflexes, the newborn has some basic reflexes, and here are the common reflexes: sucking reflex, rooting reflex, curling reflex, startle or moro reflex, gallant reflex, and tonic neck reflex. Now let's talk about lifespan development of infants and toddlers. Gross motor skills. It is always a source of excitement for parents to witness dramatic changes in the infant's first year of life. This dramatic motor development is shown in babies unable to even lift their heads, to being able to grab things off the cabinet, to chase the ball, and to walk away from parents. Fine motor skills are skills that involve a refined use of the small muscles controlling the hands, fingers, and thumb. Sensory and perceptual development. The newborn sense the world into which he or she is born through her senses of vision, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. And can newborn hear? When in the womb, the baby hears mother heartbeat. So it's yes. Which is cognitive development of infants and toddlers. It talks about how infants' psychological process involved in the thinking and knowing develop into young children. In infancy refers to development in the way a baby thinks. This includes his or her language, communication, and exploration skills. In this topic, we will focus on the sensory motor stage. First stage in Piaget's theory of cognitive development that covers the infant and the toddler's cognitive development. During this sensory-motor period, they respond to immediate stimuli. What they see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. And learning takes place through the senses and motor activities. So the sense really develop birth to 2 years. Initially think with their ears and hands. So here are the example of cognitive development of infants and toddlers. Simple reflexes. In the first month of life, infants reflexes automatic responses to particular stimuli. Second is first habit and primary circular reactions, 1 to 4 months. A child may suck his or her thumb by accident and later intentionally repeat the action. Third is secondary circulation reaction, 4 to 8 months. Example, 4-month-old accidentally knocks a toy hanging in front of her, producing a fascinating swinging motion and attempts to repeat this as an effect. Fourth is coordination of reaction stage, secondary circular, 8 to 12 months. For example, when an infant sees the string of a pull toy near her, rather than crawling over to the toy, she might instead reach but and grab the string and purposely pull the string in order to acquire the toy. Fifth is tertiary circular reactions, novelty and curiosity. 12. Example, infants become intrigued the many properties of objects and by the many things they can make happen to objects. They experiment with new behavior. Number 6 is internalization of schemes. Invention of new means through mental combination. Through mental combination. 18 to 24 months. For example, 19-month-old bumps his new push toy against a wall, pauses for a moment as if thinking, immediately turns the toy in new direction. Now, let's talk about language development. From day one, infants appear to be programmed to tune into their linguistic environment with the specific goal of acquiring language. Infants clearly have remarkably acute language learning activities even from an early age. Within the first years of life, we humans seem to progress through the following stages in producing language. One is an example of this is cawing. Infants produce soft vocalization around 3 months of age. Second is bubbling. Example, they would say ba 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 or na 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 na. Third one is one word utterances. Example, mama, dada. Yeah, like that. Fourth one is two-word utterances and telegraph speech. Example, go car, mommy shoe, door open, or where daddy go. So that kind of sort thing like that. And the fifth one is basic adult sentence structure present by about age to 4 years old with the continuing vocabulary acquisition. Example, I come home instead of I came home. So I think socio-emotional development of infants and toddlers. Simply put, Socio-emotional development has something to do with the development of a person's ability to master one's emotions and the ability to relate others. It is necessarily includes temperament, attachments, and social skills. The formative years, much has been said about the importance of the first 3 years in human development. They are so called the formative years. That is why parents and other caregiver at this stage of human development play a significant role in the development of infants and toddlers. Attachment. For healthy socio-emotional development, the infancy needs to establish an enduring emotional bond characterized by a ten, ten, tendency to seek and maintain closeness to a specific figure, particularly during stressful situation. This is the social phenomenon of attachment. Next is temperament. Another factors to the infant's socio-emotional development is temperament. Temperament is a word that captures the ways that people differ even at birth in such things as their emotional reactions, activity level, attention span, persistence, and ability to regulate their emotions. The development of emotions. Early infancy, birth 6 months, it is not clear whether infants actually experience emotions or if adults using adult facial expressions as the standard simply superimpose their own understanding of the meaning of infant facial expressions. Later infancy months, 7 to 12 months old. During the last half of the first year, infants begin expressing fear, disgust, and anger because of the maturation of cognitive abilities. Anger often expressed by infants. Although some infants respond to distressing events with sadness, anger is more common. Children learn what they live. Example, if a child lives with criticism, of course he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, of course he learns to fight, and so on. So, thank you for watching this video, guys, and I hope you have a lot of inspiration that you gain from this video. Don't forget to comment down below and show me your reactions.